So the first thing we're going to do before we worry about the pedal is we're going to learn the little exercise we play with our hands. We want an exercise that will help us hear to make sure that we are holding and lifting the pedal at the correct time. The first thing we do is we use one finger because we don't want to try and do overlapped this way because that's going to be harder for you to hear if we're doing it correctly or not. The little saying is play, pedal, move. Play, pedal, move. It gives us the instructions of what to do, and the pedal, if we do it correctly, will connect the two notes where we're taking the rest and moving. Now to the foot. When you first learn the pedal, the best thing to do is either pedal in socks, barefoot, really thin-soled slippers, something that you can feel the pedal underneath your foot. Thick-soled shoes, you don't know when you've hit that pedal. So, especially when you're first learning, it's really important to be able to feel the pedal under your foot. The next thing is, where do we put our foot on the pedal? We don't pedal like this, straight up and down, and we don't pedal by hanging onto dear life with a few of our toes. What we do is this kind of part that's curved out a little bit, that's where the ball of our foot sits. And as the pedal is kind of turned this way, we turn our foot this way to get our ball of our foot onto that part of the pedal. The next thing is, what do we do with our heel? Well, the heel has to be basically super glued to the ground. We don't want to pedal like this, and we don't want to pedal like this, shifting our weight to the front. If we do that, we don't have the control of the dampers and of the pedal to create the artistry and the sound that you're after, and the control of being able to change quickly or whatever we need. So we want to keep that heel grounded down, which means we sit far enough up on the bench and we literally put weight on our heel as if we were going to stand up. The next thing is the leg. You can't have your leg too far, too much of a 90 degree, because then you can't lift the pedal like you're supposed to. You have your leg stretched out so it can comfortably go up and down from the ankle very easily. Now the motion that we use is, like I said, it's not lifting our foot, it's not transferring the weight, but it's like tapping your foot in a concert. If you go to a concert, you have your weight on the heel, and you're not tapping your foot all the way back with it bent back. Your foot is usually stretched up, or you're standing, and you can gently just move the foot up and down from the hinge of your ankle. So we're using the ankle as a hinge there. So now that we have the position of the pedal, it's down and up, and you can just practice this a little bit till you feel comfortable not shifting the weight, just to get the feel of riding that pedal up and down. And as you get more comfortable with the motion, we can control it more and stay on that pedal. What you're going to do with the pedal is going to raise the dampers or move the dampers away from the strings so that the note that we play will sustain until we play the next note, at which point the pedal will come up and we'll go back down and sustain until we move to the next note. So that's the start of the foot. Now back to the hands. Now that we know where to put our foot, I want you just to hear it. We always start with the pedal down, and we play up, down, move, up, down, move. So as I'm lifting, the pedal is sustaining. One of the biggest mistakes that students make is they come back and this is what they do. Because our hand wants to do what our foot wants to do at the same time. They have to go opposite directions. We start, pedal down, and here's the other saying. We can go play, then pedal, then move, play, pedal, move, play. Now we're going to take our little saying and our little hand movement and we're going to put the pedal to it. And we always start with the pedal down, always. And what we do is we say up, we move, lift the pedal, keeping that note down, down with the pedal, up, down, move, up, down, move. And I am over pedaling, so maybe you can hear those dampers. I am doing that on purpose. Eventually we won't do that, but the other way, of course, is play, pedal, move, play, pedal, move. A big mistake that people make partly because our hand is going up, our foot wants to go up, plus we feel like we've held it long enough. So remember, you're holding it all the way through until you hear the next note. Then you lift and go back down. In learning this pedal exercise, we're not interested in fast changes. Do we change fast sometimes? Yes, but that's not always the case. And right now it's more important to have control of the pedal and listen to what you are playing, because that's what's going to create the beautiful music, the artistry. Okay, so now back to the hands again. Listening, you should be able to actually try to practice this with your eyes closed, because the most important sense that we use is not touch, it's not moving the foot, it's not our eyes. Literally the most important thing you will ever use when you pedal is your ear, and you have to learn to listen to what you're doing. With your eyes closed, put the pedal down, play a note, lift the pedal, put it back down, and then move and play the next note. And when you hear it, the pedal comes up. And then you hear it, and the pedal comes up and then goes right back down. Quick change. We'll come to that. We'll get to that. But most or a lot of the pedaling, even advanced pedaling, Chopin waltzes, things like that, a lot of times have to use that slower up, down, because the piano, different registers, takes different amount of times to change. To do your pedal exercise, the best thing to do is just start at the bottom, pedal down, play, pedal, move, play, pedal, move. Work your way all the way up, keep going, work your way, keep going up, until you get to the F, or actually it's the G, which is 1.5 octaves below the top of the piano. If you will play, you'll hear it stop, you'll hear it stop, you hear the sound stop, hear it stop, sound didn't stop. And no, I don't have the pedal on. That's because this last part of the piano does not have dampers. That's how these tiny little strings and these high little notes can compete with our low notes. So from here to here, and then go back down and do it one time up, one time down every day. Really listening to what you're doing and hear that clean change all the way up, all the way down. If you do try to do the fast pedal at the bottom, this is what you're going to get. Turning into mush, because that up-down pedal doesn't work down there. That really fast change doesn't work because the length of the strings, it takes a lot longer for those strings to stop vibrating. So it's important that you learn this slow moving pedal, because you will use it a lot. The other thing you want to be really careful of when you're doing this is making sure you change. See, I wasn't changing soon enough. Make sure you change fast enough. As soon as you hear that note, pedal comes up. I'm going to do videos for pieces that use this overlapped pedal, and they'll be coming up really shortly. So if you want to get those and learn pieces that use this pedal, then subscribe to my channel. But just to give you a little taste, this is one of the little pieces called a little flower. And what makes it so pretty is that overlapped pedal. Hope this helps. Send any questions you have through the comments. It's the soul of the piano, as Arthur Rubinstein once said, and we want to dwell in heaven, not in purgatory. So let's learn that overlapped pedal. Thanks. Bye.